Hi, this is Doug Renstrom with ROI Training. So far, we've been deploying our application to Minikube. Now we will deploy it to the cloud using Google Kubernetes Engine. Let's switch to the demo machine to find out how.
Okay, this is our final demo in our 8 video series on deploying applications to Kubernetes. So far, we've deployed everything to Minikube on our local machines, but now we want to take that same configuration and deploy it to the cloud. And in our demo, we're going to use Google Cloud. So here we are inside Google Cloud, and I'm logged in with my account, and we're going to start right from the beginning. So let's create a new project. So hit new and hit create, and that'll just take a few seconds to create that project. Okay, now the project is created and we've selected it. So now we're here. Now we're going to run our commands from Google Cloud Shell. So I'm going to click this button, activate Cloud Shell, and that'll take a second to start up. And now we got to get our code. Well, our code is inside GitHub. So here's my GitHub repo. So let me copy the URL to it. And then we're just going to run the command git clone and then that URL. And that'll pull down all of our events app code. Now that'll create a folder called events app. So let's cd into that. And if we type ls, notice all the code we've been talking about for the past few videos is right here inside that folder. Now the command we want to run is inside our automation folder, and that command will be deploy to GKE. So that's what we're going to run right here. So let's start the command up, and then it'll take a little while to run, and then we can show you what it's doing. So we'll do bash and then deploy to GKE and then click enter. Now, this command takes a few minutes to run. So while we're waiting, let's just open up the code editor real quick and we'll take a look at it. So let's see, here's our events app folder, and here's our automation folder, and this is the command we just ran, deploy to GKE. Well, so let's go through the commands. So this was a brand new GCP project, and there are 2 services that need to be enabled in order for Kubernetes to work. So those are the Compute Engine API and the Kubernetes API. So the Kubernetes API is confusingly called container.googleapis.com. And of course, we need virtual machines for our GKE cluster. So we have to enable the Compute Engine API. Scroll down a little further. This command here creates a Kubernetes cluster for us. So gcloud container clusters create, and then this is the name of our cluster, and this is where in the world we want to put our cluster. There's lots and lots of other parameters we could add if we wanted to customize how the cluster was created. But anyway, this takes a few minutes to create the cluster. And then this command essentially logs into the cluster, right? Or it changes the kubectl CLI's context. So when you enter a command, the command is run against the cluster we created here. Notice the command is get credentials, and this is the name of the cluster that we created, and this is the zone where that cluster was created in. So that'll log us in, and then this should look familiar. Here we're deploying our database with Helm, and I guess I don't really have to do this, but I figure why not? All this command does is sleeps for a minute, because I know the database is not going to be ready for at least a minute. So we'll sleep for a minute, and then if we scroll down a little more, once it comes back from its sleep, then we'll do kubectl apply, and then we'll apply all of our configuration files, which we've already seen. And then I know it takes a little while for everything to get set up, for the job to run, and then the the applications to be deployed, and then for the services to be ready and for there to be a load balancer that is ready to serve up requests. So I put the thread to sleep again, and then I call kubectl get services. That command will output all the services and hopefully the public IP addresses of our load balancers. And then once we have the public IP of the load balancers, then we can test our application. After sleeping for 3 minutes, that should work. And then I have a little, warning here, I guess. If it didn't work after 3 minutes, you could wait a little longer and then run get services again if it didn't have the public IP. But more than likely, it would be done by then. So, but anyway, that's what the command is doing. And then if we open terminal back up, as you'll see here, it's still running. So again, that takes a few minutes. So with the magic of video editing, we'll skip all that. Okay, well, that took about 5 minutes or so to complete. And now that we're done, we have our application deployed. Here's our events web. Here's the external IP of the events web load balancer. So let's copy that to the clipboard and then cross our fingers and paste it and hope it worked. So it worked. There's our pet show and we can like it, and I guess we could add events. So that's all been deployed. If we go back to our project here, we can see what got created if we go to the menu and then Kubernetes engine. There's our Kubernetes cluster. And if we look at workloads, there are our applications that have been deployed, our database, and our DB initializer job, and our events API, and our events website. And there are services, and so on and so forth. Now we want to get rid of everything. Well, we don't need to automate that. If I want to delete everything, we'll just go over here and on the cluster and click delete, and delete the cluster, and everything will go away. So anyway, give it a try yourself. Again, all you got to do is, well, you need a Google Cloud account. So if you don't have one, create a trial account, create a project, open up Cloud Shell, then clone my repo here. That'll create an events app folder on your site, and then go into the automations folder and then run that shell script, deploy to GKE. Anyway, I hope that works for you. This is Doug Renstrom with ROI Training one last time. Thanks for watching our video series on deploying applications with Kubernetes. Please give us a comment below if you've enjoyed the video series and like it, and tell your friends to watch it. Thank you.